Let me introduce you to the audience first. 이 다나카 사부로 일본
Master Saburo Tanaka is the Deputy Director General of Japan Cruise Research Institute. He is the leader of the Japanese cruise industry. He has made such a great contribution to the development of the Japanese cruise industry. He has a joint research agreement on cruise with the Korean Maritime Institute, or KMI, and he has supported and helped the Korean cruise industry for its development. Today, he will give us his presentation titled Japanese Cruise Flag Cruise Ship Operations Scheme.
はい。ただいまご紹介いただきました日本
As introduced, I'm Saburo Tanaka, a Deputy Director General of Japan Cruise Research Institute. Thank you for having me today. Congratulations on the hosting of the 16th World Ocean Forum. I was invited last year as well. I'm very honored and privileged to be part of this year's edition of the World Ocean Forum. Today, rather than talking about Japanese cruise trend, I would like to talk about the Japanese flag cruise ship operation scheme, because we are talking about the Korean cruise new build and Korean flag construction. So my presentation will be of any reference to you. I won't be very pleased. Looking at the Japanese cruise industry in October 2021, Japanese domestic cruise was resumed, and we are preparing ourselves on various fronts for the resumption of the international cruise operation. I believe by the end of this year, we will see some resumption, even to a certain extent, of international cruise operation in Korea. Let me jump into the content of my presentation. Today, I'd like to talk about Maru ship system. This is an overarching principle in the Japanese shipping industry. Japanese ships should be owned by Japanese companies. That is the first principle. And the second is that domestic cruise for Japan should be done by Japanese flagship. And the third part of the principle is quite critical in this regard. The crew of Japanese ships should be all Japanese. So these are the three pillars of the overarching principle. So this is how Japan has operated its cruise and the shipping industry for the past 50 years or so. And at some point, the Japanese authorities began to consider whether it's economically viable to have all Japanese flagships for domestic cruise operation, and whether it is proper to have all Japanese crew for Japanese vessels. So, as an alternative, another idea was proposed, which is the Maru ship, which means the bareboat charter. Japanese ship owners bareboat charter to foreign ship owners, but this is related to international shipping as well, not just for cruise. As I mentioned, Japanese ship owners bareboat charter to foreign ship owners, and then foreign ship owners have foreign crew on board. And the third step, Japanese ship owners charter back the vessel which was subject to bareboat charter with foreign crew. That was an alternative approach taken by Japanese ship owners. This Maru ship approach was applied to cruise ship as well. The Maru ship system is for ocean-going ships, but Maru ship cruise ships are also allowed for short-term domestic cruises between international cruises. There was a special decree announced and came into force. The second characteristic is that although foreign crews on Maru ship cruise ships were limited to crews mainly engaged in the service sector, operating staff were later included as well. So now we are witnessing an increasing number of foreign staff working on board. Under this model, we have this operations scheme model, as you can see on the slide. This is very technical, so I will not go into details because that will use up all my time. So I would like to ask you to read this slide at your leisure, and if you have any questions, please contact me separately. So this is the structure of the Maru ship cruise ship operation scheme model. We have international foreign crew on board for the international cruise operation. I believe for Korea, when it has cruise vessels, by adopting this kind of model, Korea would be able to secure efficiency and effectiveness. This is only for your reference. Let me move on to the second part of my presentation. This is new shipbuilding plans in Korea under consideration. I am originally from NYK. The company operates a Shuka 2, a cruise vessel. So let me share with you the case example of this vessel and this company. In 2006, a new cruise ship was entered into service in 2006. And the vessel, Crystal Harmony, was built in 1990. And she was considered a successor to an aging cruise ship. It's very antiquated vessel, an outdated vessel. So people believed, or the operating company believed, that there should be a successor to this aging cruise vessel. But a new building plan was postponed due to difficulties in her main cargo business, or her parent company. NYK was involved in various businesses. The shipping company was considering continuing the cruise business, but decided that it could not be positioned as a priority in the medium to long term due to its low profitability compared to the transportation business, such as LNG. That was the decision or the status back in 2017. So over a dozen years later. As for NYK, was required to carry out large-scale renovation work in order to comply with the sulfur oxide regulations that would come into force in January 2020. So it was facing a mandate to cut down its greenhouse gas emissions, which requires a significant amount of investment, hefty investment, to be honest with you. And considering the circumstances, new build was not plausible, so NYK explored various options. Then in 2019, about 3 years ago, the company sold 50% of its wholly owned operating company shares to a ship-related investment fund. the cruise ship underwent a major refurbishment at a Singapore shipyard in January 2020, and that served as a pivotal turning point. And with the investment in 2020, the refurbishment was conducted, and Ashoka 2 was born as a result, which is in operation. And in tandem with this, the operating company has a new construction study project team consisting of the heads of each department. So this is an in-house effort. So this project was commenced 3 years ago. There was a multifaceted review conducted. So where to build the ship was the first question they raised. Even within Japan, we have Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, a shipbuilder. But as for cruise vessel, this is a whole new set of needs to be addressed. That is why it is quite critical to retain a company with vast experiences. So the decision was made to work with Meyer Werft of Germany for the successor ship Ashoka 3. The construction costs were arranged by an investment fund that owns 50% of the stock of the operating company. And the project was financed by about 30 financial institutions, mainly regional banks. So here the point is that the shipping company, NYK, did not fund all the construction costs. The local commercial banks, to be more exact, 29 financial institutions of Japan financed the project. So the planning was completed. To give you an overview of A3, not Ashoka 2, this is how it would look. Well, the vessel is not that big. Its tonnage is about 51,000 tons, and it has a passenger capacity of 744 pax. And it is very large and spacious, I would say. And it has the capacity of accommodating a crew of up to 470 people. So per passenger, there would be 0.78 crew. And this will lead to a very high level of service or service quality. So this cruise will offer a luxury service to passengers. One of the characteristics of this cruise vessel is that, as you can see at the top, although this is part of the outlook, the construction will start in 2023 and will come into service in 2025. And as for the construction cost, as I mentioned, in the dollar term, $650 million would be put in. We have a weak yen these days. To translate that into Japanese yen, I think it will be hefty. As for the engine, in the middle of the slide, as you can see, with this net zero initiative, in order to ensure decarbonization of the society, we'd like to build a vessel which can go along with this decarbonization approach. so that we can offer a competitive technology. That's the goal for the construction of a new vessel. And this is the move of the Japanese company. NYK is considering what to do with Sukhoi 2 after A3 goes into service, but there is a possibility of coexistence as well. We are seeing the emergence of Northeast Asia as a new cruise area. World cruise originates in the Caribbean and then spread widely across the globe, including the Mediterranean Sea, Northern Europe, and Antarctica. And I believe that we have more cruise ships to the Northeast Asian Sea and attract passengers from all over the world. International cruise serves as the foundation for globalism. And let's strengthen our cooperation and grow our Northeast Asia cruise. And I would like to ask for your continued support. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.